Hello, Jordan Burris here. Today is November the 5th, and on this date in 1946, alternative country music pioneer Gram Parsons would be born in Winter Haven, Florida. Many credit Parsons with forging a relationship between country music and rock and roll. As a member of the legendary folk rock band The Byrds, Parsons' country music sensibility would greatly influence their 1968 landmark album, Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Parsons and his Byrds bandmate Chris Tillman would then form the highly influential group, the Flying Burrito Brothers. The group was an extension of Parsons' goal to integrate country and rock, and some call the Burrito Brothers sound an amalgam of Buck Owens' Bakersfield sound and psychedelic rock and roll. After leaving the Burrito Brothers, Parsons would travel to England to join the Rolling Stones on their 1971 tour. Parsons was especially close with Keith Richards. Upon returning to the States, Parsons had planned on recording a solo album when he was introduced to singer-songwriter Emmylou Harris at a club in Washington, D.C. With Harris and an all-star backing band, Parsons would record the album GP, which would be released in 1973. The album was an assortment of Parsons' original compositions as well as country covers such as George Jones's That's All It Took. The album was a critical darling but failed to reach the Billboard charts. The 1974 follow-up album Grievous Angel was a continuation of the sound that Gram Parsons and Emmylou Harris were cultivating. However, he would not live to see the release. Gram Parsons would pass away on September the 19th, 1973 at the age of 26 due to a lethal combination of barbiturates and alcohol. In the recent past, Parsons had told his friend and confidant Phil Kaufman that when he died, he wanted his body to be cremated and deposited at Joshua Tree National Park in California. To fulfill his friend's request, Kaufman would drive to Los Angeles International Airport and steal the body of Parsons, drive it to Joshua Tree, and set it ablaze, using 5 gallons of gasoline as an accelerant. Kaufman and his accomplice would be arrested, but there was no law on the book in California against stealing a dead body, so the men were charged $750 in fines for stealing the coffin, and no jail time was levied against them. The musical legacy of Gram Parsons is written on the history of rock and roll, not just with legendary groups like the Rolling Stones and the Byrds, but also with modern artists like Wilco, First Aid Kit, and Kings of Leon. And so a happy heavenly birthday to Gram Parsons, and here's a rendition of one of his better-known songs and one of my personal favorites, Hickory Wind. In South Carolina, there's many tall pines. I remember the oak tree that we used to climb. When I feel I always pretend that I'm getting the feel of hickory wind. fun.